Hey guys, so I'm outside of the gym right now, and I just want to talk to you. I woke up this morning because I essentially slapped or like open palmed punched my forehead in my sleep. And that's kind of what I woke up with today. And I've been having a weird time lately. The last time I talked to you guys, I said that I had a lot of fear. And I don't know that it's a fear of nothing anymore. I think I'm kind of transitioning out of a time of my life where most of my issues are physical. And it's really difficult for me to pivot or to see things differently than I used to. And I think that there's just like so much emotion kind of bubbling up and things that I just didn't deal with because I was so ill. I had to put things on the back burner, and I don't have to do that anymore. And lately I've been struggling with my deficit. I've been struggling with the gym. Like, I've been really having a hard time with pushing through. And I don't mind eating a little more sometimes. Like, I worked extremely hard this past week. I was very exhausted, and I may have needed more food. But I think that there's just like other stuff going on. You know, when you're waking up because you slapped yourself in the face, I was having nightmares about cockroaches. And I guess my mom could hear me like talking in my sleep or kind of moaning in my sleep earlier this morning. And I'm just having like this really fitful sleep, not relaxing. Like I said, nightmares, but they were nightmares about roaches. And the reason I slapped my forehead is because in my dream, there was a roach on my forehead, and I was trying to kill the roach, and I ended up like hitting myself. And to this, like at this very moment, I still don't know if it really happened or not, but my forehead hurt all day. And I woke up, and it's just like, wow, like I was talking to my best friend on the phone today, and I was like, I do think there is some kind of a hormonal element, just because like if my REM sleep is like weird, that to me would probably be serotonin related still. But you know, where I'm moving when I'm sleeping, like that's really bizarre. I don't know that will ever happen again, but I don't think I've ever done that in my whole life. But I think it's not just physical anymore. I think what it is like I have a lot of emotional things that are very buried, and I have a lot of spiritual hang-ups, I think, that I have to work through now. And I don't know why, but for the past like couple weeks, my subconscious has been so loud in my head, and I just don't know that like I had this connection prior. I feel like I was numb to it or something, and it's like when I prayed and stuff, it was so clear. Like, it's hard to explain, but it's like the bridge between my subconscious and my conscious mind is so short now. And I'm struggling with it. and I think it's difficult because personally I am very emotional. And so having these really strong emotions returning to my conscious mind, while on one hand it makes me feel younger, on the other hand, it scares me. I wasn't always the best person when I was younger. I couldn't always maintain control over my emotions when I was younger. And sometimes I feel like I still can't if I'm literally hitting myself in the face this morning. And so I think I was like, I'm kind of realizing like I think there's a little bit of a subconscious sabotage going on right now. Because physically I feel fine. I was very tired, but I've rested. And it's like, I don't really have a reason to not want to go to the gym. I don't really have a reason to not do the deficit. I'm not extremely hungry. I'm not this, I'm not that. It's like I'm trying to eat the most fiber, the most heavy foods I can. It's like I don't want to see under 300 on the scale. It's like I think there is a very deep part of me that is very terrified of the unknown. And it's like, I thought I had moved past it, But I think all I did was really, to get to this point, I just didn't think about it. I tried really hard not to. But as stated, I've recovered to the point where it's very loud in my head now. And I have to kind of deal with it. And so I'm trying to just like, it's a very strange feeling, but it's a feeling of getting to know myself again. It's a feeling of no longer being the sick Alex or the ill Alex or the dying Alex or the suffering Alex, but just being Alex. Just being me. I keep looking for problems. I keep looking for something that's unturned in my life, and there isn't anything. And it's like, I just wonder, like, why am I not satisfied, And as I said, I don't think it's physical anymore. I think this is something else. And it's like, I don't think that these aspects are talked about enough. And that's why I'm doing it. Because it's really, it's scary. I don't know. It's really scary to me for some reason. I don't know why. I know in my head that being under 300 pounds is not, it isn't anything other than like a construct. Like, it will just be another day in my life. It's not that big of a deal, but it's very odd to just know that, like, I'm never going back. And it's like, I've talked about this a lot. I don't do well with unknown. I don't do well with a lot of things changing, especially internally. It's really hard for me. That's a huge part of the reason why I haven't lost weight. I think this is another wall I've always hit. I had the mental health and sort of serotonin wall that I would always hit. And usually I would hit this feeling wall a lot faster. I remember when I was trying to lose weight in 2012, I was terrified. It was like, I would lose 5 pounds and I'd look in the mirror and I'd see that it had changed, and it scared me shitless. And I thought that I had moved past that, but I haven't. I am the same. I am just, I was able to bury it. I was able to deal with one thing at a time, you know? And so I dealt with the physical serotonin bullshit this summer in my brain. It was horrible. It was so difficult, but I've moved past it. But now it's like, now I'm just dealing with me, with my feelings, with myself. And it doesn't have to do with hormones anymore. I don't think so. I mean, like I said, it's a little weird to slap yourself in the face in the morning, but it could just be something emotional or spiritual going on. And it's been a long time since I felt like I was in a spiritual battle. I felt that way in April, when I was putting this into motion again, when I was really working to do the deficit and move forward. It did feel spiritual then, and it feels spiritual now. But right now, I don't have the physical side to distract. Like, there's nothing else but the spiritual side. And so it just feels like a spiritual battle now. And it's like, I feel like I'm not strong enough to do this. Like, I feel like my physical body is not strong enough to handle these spiritual or emotional issues that I have. And it's like, I have to let that go. I'm not that ill anymore. I'm not. I don't have these excuses. I don't have this anymore. And that's one of the biggest things about losing weight that always scared me, is I would never have an excuse again. I wouldn't have it as an excuse anymore. An excuse to not live my life, an excuse to say no. And it's like, I don't know why it's so scary for me. I think it's because, like, I tried in my past. Like, I tried to move forward or do things or put myself out there, and I was brutally traumatized pretty much every time I did it. And that's not to say that we can't heal from being traumatized or recover or get stronger, but it's very hard to start again with anything. It reminds me of when I fell out of love with my first love, and it was so hard for me to start over. It's just like, you don't want to go there with certain things, but I don't have this serotonin, the shackles in my mind anymore. You know, what I talked a lot about earlier this year, like, where the serotonin, that response in my mind, it was so strong that I was so rhythmic. I was like a metronome. I was like a machine. It's like I was so inflexible and so rigid. My mindset was so rigid that it protected me and it kept me going. I don't have that anymore. So now it's just me again. That serotonin storm, whatever it is, whether it's going up or down or all around or whatever the hell, we don't really know. All I know is that it happened. It's over. And now I don't have these rigid thinking mindsets anymore. I have to do it myself. And in order to do it myself, I have to feel it. And it's hard to feel it, especially when you're as emotional as I am. It's really hard. You know, I laugh because I made a video in like August, and I talked about how I felt like I was becoming so much less emotional. And I think it was just like some of the lingering effects of this serotonin storm I went through this summer, but it lifted, and all my emotions have come back like a floodgate has opened. And I'm right back to what I was. You know, I thought my brain was like masculinizing or something. It hasn't. That completely reversed. And, you know, it's not like I feel like I'm a girl or anything. It's just I'm extremely feminine again. I'm very emotional again. I'm very everything again. I'm very me. I'm very Alex. I'm very me. There's a reason that this channel is called Graphically Alex. It was because when I started it many years ago, and when I chose the username many years ago, it was the idea of being graphically myself. The idea of being myself with such an intensity that it could be described as graphic. And there's a reason I use that word. It's because I'm an intense person. I'm very intense. And I think a lot of times I tried not to be. And I think sometimes being ill or physically ill or, you know, numbing myself through food or just sickness, it was a way to tamper down some of that intensity that a lot of people cannot handle. And that sometimes I can't even handle. Once again, who hits themselves in the forehead? It's just nuts, right? In my sleep. So I think I am facing self-sabotage tendencies right now. I didn't know if I would ever get here, but I have. And I will say it's completely emotional. It's completely spiritual. It has nothing to do with hormones or anything. It doesn't. I can't blame the season. I can't blame anything. It's just my feelings. So I do think that there is an element of feelings involved in this process, and I hope to God that I can get through this because it's challenging, but I think it's good to talk about. I think that's a good step, is letting the subconscious be conscious and at least knowing. And it's like I just have to tell myself, like, you will make it. You know, being under 300 pounds at this point, it feels like a black hole. It feels like the bottom of the ocean. But just like other big moments in my life, it will just be another day. And that's what I'm going to tell myself. Because I need to keep going again. This week, I kind of stagnated a bit. And I think it was a subconscious intention and a self-sabotage. And I need to be on my own side. And that's hard. That's a tall order. I know I'm not alone in that. But I need to feel like I'm not against myself right now. I need myself to be in my corner. So it's something I'm definitely going to pray about. Even though, to be honest, praying kind of scares me right now. It's a really weird place to be. Because I always felt like I was very good with these things and very strong in these areas. And I think I'm not. I think it was a delusion. I think I thought I was good at these things, and I'm not. Or I'm not as good at spiritual and emotional things as I thought I was. Or I'm just rusty, or I'm really under practice. But it's like, I'm coming back to myself in ways I never thought possible or expected. So, yeah. That's where I'm at. That's the update. I'm at the gym. I'm struggling with going in. I'm going to. But we gotta get real. I don't want to just talk about the good times. I don't want to just talk about the bright moments of this journey. I'm very dedicated to covering the dark side because I think it's really important. So that's what I'm doing. So I will talk to you guys again soon. Thank you for watching. I was really busy this week with financial stuff, so I've had to kind of take a week off, but I will be back next week. I worked on something today that was a little scary for me, but it was a good step. And I do feel like my world is opening up. I'm going to movies this month. I'm going to see a horror movie. I'm going to see Taylor. I'm doing some outings with my grandma this month. You know, like, I haven't done stuff like that. Like, I've been so singularly focused, and it's good to be, like, inching towards having a normal life again, or, like, actually doing things and actually having fun again, because I'm not ill anymore. I'm not that ill. Like, I still am a little ill, but it's not anywhere near what it was. So saying yes again, it's interesting. Saying yes to life. I will talk to you guys later. Have a good rest of your day, night, whatever. See you soon.